Welcome to the Stoic Philosophy, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to help you lead a life of peace, purpose, and inner strength. In today's world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. External pressures, emotional turbulence, and the constant flow of information can make it difficult to stay in control of our own minds. But what if I told you that true peace and mastery lie in one thing: your ability to control your thoughts and emotions? In this video, we're diving deep into Stoic secrets to master your mind. You'll learn powerful strategies that can help you never lose control again, no matter how chaotic life gets. From understanding the nature of the mind to using Stoic practices for emotional resilience, you'll walk away with tools you can apply in your everyday life. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy for more in-depth discussions on Stoic principles and how they can transform your life. Now, let's get started and discover the powerful secrets that can help you master your mind and never lose control. Chapter 1: The Power of the Mind. In Stoicism, the mind is not just a tool for thinking. It's the very foundation of how we experience the world. The Stoics believed that the mind is where everything begins, and through it, we have the power to shape our reality. Our perceptions, thoughts, and beliefs influence how we interact with the world, determine our emotional responses, and ultimately define the course of our lives. The power of the mind, according to Stoicism, lies in our ability to control it, to understand it, and to master it. The mind is the source of control. Every moment, we are faced with countless external events, some of them joyous, some painful, some mundane, and others chaotic. But what if I told you that the power to decide how you experience these moments doesn't lie in the events themselves? It lies in how you respond to them. This is where the true power of the mind comes into play. According to Stoic philosophy, we cannot control what happens around us, but we can control how we react to what happens. This distinction is profound because it places the responsibility for our well-being squarely in our hands. It's easy to blame external circumstances when we feel overwhelmed or out of control. If only my boss were nicer, we might think. If only the economy were better, or if only I had more time, I could be happier. But the Stoics teach us that these external factors are beyond our control. The only thing we can ever control is how we react. In every situation, we are faced with a choice to either be the master of our mind or to let it be ruled by external forces. The role of perception. Perception is one of the most powerful forces in shaping our experience of the world. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone bumps into you. One person might get angry, thinking, "How dare they do that? They have no respect for me." Another person, however, might simply think, "It's no big deal. They were probably in a rush." The external event being bumped into is the same for both people, but their perceptions of it differ. Their minds, shaped by their thoughts and beliefs, color their reactions. The Stoics understood that our perceptions shape our emotions. If we perceive an event as negative or harmful, it will trigger a negative emotional reaction. If we perceive it as something neutral or even an opportunity to practice patience or understanding, our emotional response will be different. This is why the Stoics emphasize the importance of controlling our perceptions. By changing how we view the world, we change how the world affects us. The power of thought. Our thoughts are the lens through which we interpret reality. They shape our beliefs, attitudes, and reactions. But what if we could take control of our thoughts, rather than letting them run wild? What if we could use our thoughts to cultivate inner peace, resilience, and clarity? This is the essence of Stoic practice. One of the key tenets of Stoicism is that we should strive to master our thoughts. This doesn't mean suppressing negative emotions or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It means learning to respond to our thoughts consciously rather than letting them dictate our actions. When we are aware of our thoughts, we can challenge them, question their validity, and choose how we want to respond. For example, imagine you receive some bad news, perhaps a setback at work or a personal disappointment. Your initial thought might be, "This is terrible. I can't handle this." But through the practice of Stoic mindfulness, you can pause and ask yourself, is this thought true? Is this the only way to view this situation? You might realize that while the news is disappointing, it doesn't have to control your emotions or your actions. By challenging your initial thought, you create space for a more balanced, rational response. The Stoic mindset, rationality over emotion. The Stoics didn't believe in suppressing emotions, but they did believe in practicing rationality. They understood that emotions are natural and inevitable, but they also recognized that unchecked emotions could lead to poor decisions and a life dominated by external events. To cultivate mastery over the mind, the Stoics emphasized the importance of rational thinking. They believed that by using reason, we could overcome the destructive power of unchecked emotions. This doesn't mean denying our feelings. It means understanding them, accepting them, and then deciding how we want to respond. When we're able to step back and observe our emotions from a rational perspective, we are less likely to be swept away by them. Instead, we can choose a more thoughtful, deliberate course of action. The inner battle, self-mastery through awareness. At the core of Stoic philosophy is the concept of self-mastery. The Stoics saw life as an ongoing battle, not against others, but against ourselves. The real struggle is within the mind, and it's here that we must win the battle if we are to live a life of freedom, peace, and virtue. This battle begins with awareness. The more we understand how our minds work, the better equipped we are to take control. When we become aware of our thoughts, we can see the patterns that lead to negative emotions and reactions. We can identify the beliefs that limit us and replace them with beliefs that empower us. By becoming more conscious of our inner world, we begin to break free from the automatic, reactive nature of our minds and create space for intentional, rational responses. The role of Stoic practices. One of the most powerful tools Stoics use to master their minds is daily practice. Stoic practices such as journaling, meditation, and negative visualization help us develop awareness, self-discipline, and emotional resilience. Through these practices, we train our minds to respond with reason and wisdom rather than emotional reaction. For instance, journaling allows us to reflect on our thoughts and emotions and to track our progress over time. Negative visualization, a technique where we imagine the worst-case scenario, helps us prepare for adversity and build emotional resilience. By practicing these techniques daily, we strengthen our mental muscles and become more capable of facing life's challenges with calm, clarity, and control. The Stoic ideal, virtue, and peace of mind. Ultimately, the power of the mind is not about suppressing emotions or denying our human nature. It's about aligning our thoughts and actions with our highest values, virtue, wisdom, and rationality. The Stoics believed that by living virtuously, we could achieve true peace of mind. Virtue is the key to freedom because it's the only thing we can truly control. When we act in alignment with our virtues, we can maintain our inner peace regardless of what's happening around us. In the end, the power of the mind is the power to choose how we think, how we perceive the world, and how we respond to life's challenges. By mastering our minds, we can live a life of peace, purpose, and true freedom. This is the gift that Stoic philosophy offers us, and it's a gift that each of us can begin to unwrap today. Chapter 2. Why losing control happens. The nature of human emotions. To understand why we lose control, we first need to recognize the very nature of human emotions. We are emotional beings by design. Emotions arise from our thoughts, beliefs, and reactions to the world around us. Every situation we encounter triggers a mental and emotional response, shaping how we feel and act. However, the Stoics teach us that emotions, though natural, can easily become overwhelming if left unchecked. In the heat of the moment, when anger, fear, or frustration takes hold, our ability to remain in control diminishes. The Stoic challenge is not to eliminate emotions, but to manage them effectively. The role of our beliefs. Our beliefs, both conscious and subconscious, play a significant role in how we experience the world. Often, it is our attachment to certain beliefs, whether about ourselves, others, or the world, that causes us to lose control. For instance, when we believe that we must always succeed, we set ourselves up for disappointment. When life doesn't meet our expectations, frustration arises. Stoic philosophy teaches us that it is not the external events that disturb us, but rather our judgments about those events. Losing control happens when our beliefs conflict with reality, when we expect things to unfold in a certain way, and they don't. By changing our expectations, we can begin to control our responses to those events. The influence of external circumstances. External circumstances, what happens outside of us, also have a powerful impact on our sense of control. We often fall victim to the illusion that our happiness or stability depends on the actions of others or the circumstances we find ourselves in. When these external factors are unpredictable or out of our hands, we are at the mercy of them. The Stoic wisdom of focusing on what is within our control is critical in such situations. We cannot control the behavior of others or the unfolding of events, but we can control how we respond to them. Losing control happens when we place our well-being in the hands of others or allow external circumstances to dictate our emotions. The illusion of control. One of the most insidious reasons for losing control is the illusion of control. In many areas of life, we believe that we have more influence over things than we actually do. We attempt to manipulate and control outcomes, convinced that if we try hard enough, we can shape everything to our will. This belief leads to stress, anxiety, and frustration when reality doesn't align with our expectations. In fact, the more we try to control uncontrollable situations, the more we lose our grip on peace of mind. The Stoics remind us that the only true control we have is over our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. When we let go of the illusion of control, we gain a deeper sense of freedom. Lack of self-awareness. Another critical factor in losing control is the lack of self-awareness. We often react impulsively to situations without pausing to reflect on our feelings or motivations. These knee-jerk reactions are fueled by ingrained habits and automatic responses that we've developed over time. Without the ability to pause, assess, and choose a rational course of action, we are susceptible to being swept away by our emotions. Stoicism teaches us the importance of developing self-awareness, of being mindful of our thoughts and feelings. By becoming more aware of our emotional triggers, we can gain greater control over how we respond to the world. The impact of stress and overwhelm. In modern life, stress is a constant companion. We juggle multiple responsibilities, navigate complex relationships, and face constant pressure to perform. This constant state of stress can lead us to feel overwhelmed, clouding our judgment and pushing us toward losing control. When we are overwhelmed, our capacity for rational thought diminishes. Instead of thinking clearly, we react impulsively. Stoics advocate for a balanced approach to life, taking time for rest, reflection, and self-care. By managing our stress levels and maintaining a sense of inner peace, we can prevent ourselves from losing control in challenging moments. The role of impulsivity. Impulsivity is another powerful force that leads to a loss of control. Often, we act on impulse, seeking immediate gratification or relief without considering the long-term consequences. This impulsive behavior can manifest in many ways, whether it's an outburst of anger, an unhealthy coping mechanism, or a rash decision. The Stoic approach is to cultivate patience and restraint, practicing the ability to pause before acting. By developing self-control and taking a moment to reflect, we can avoid impulsive reactions and make decisions that align with our values and long-term goals. The importance of perspective. Perspective plays a vital role in whether we lose control. When we view life through a narrow lens, focused only on our immediate desires or frustrations, we become more prone to emotional reactions. However, when we broaden our perspective, we can see things in a more balanced and measured way. Stoics encourage us to step back and consider the bigger picture, recognizing that the events we experience are temporary and that many things are beyond our control. By adopting a broader perspective, we can maintain our composure, even in difficult situations. The role of vulnerability. Another factor that leads to losing control is our resistance to vulnerability. We often try to shield ourselves from pain, failure, and discomfort, believing that avoiding vulnerability is a way to maintain control. In reality, this only creates internal conflict and stress. Stoicism teaches us that vulnerability is not weakness. Rather, it is the courage to face the uncertainties of life with strength and resilience. When we accept vulnerability, we can approach challenges with greater clarity and control. We no longer feel the need to hide from difficult emotions, but instead embrace them as part of our journey. The path forward. Losing control is a part of life. It happens to all of us. However, the good news is that we have the power to regain control. By understanding the causes of our loss of control, whether it's the nature of our emotions, our beliefs, external circumstances, or our own actions, we can begin to address the root causes. Stoic philosophy offers us practical tools to cultivate self-mastery, to change our perspective, and to take responsibility for our thoughts and actions. As we develop these skills, we gradually regain control over our minds, our emotions, and our lives. And in doing so, we become more resilient, more balanced, and more aligned with our true purpose. Chapter 3. Stoic Strategies to Master Your Mind. Understanding the Power of Thought. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that our thoughts are the foundation of our reality. We cannot control everything that happens around us, but we can control how we perceive and respond to those events. It is not the event itself that causes us distress, but our judgment of it. When we change our perspective, we change the way we experience the world. The first step to mastering your mind is understanding the power of your thoughts. Acknowledge that you are the one who assigns meaning to everything. By doing so, you take the first step towards taking control of your mind. Cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present, fully engaged with the moment, and aware of your thoughts and emotions. It's easy to get lost in distractions, but when you train yourself to be mindful, you regain control over your mind. Stoics would often reflect on their thoughts and behaviors, noticing where they were making judgments that led to emotional disturbances. This practice of self-awareness allows you to spot negative or irrational thought patterns and correct them before they spiral out of control. Being mindful means you don't let your thoughts rule you. You learn to observe them and respond rationally. Practice negative visualization. One of the most powerful Stoic strategies is negative visualization. This practice involves imagining the worst possible scenario in a given situation, not to dwell in fear, but to prepare yourself mentally for what might come. When you visualize worst-case outcomes, you remove the shock and fear of facing them. This strategy helps you approach life with a sense of realism, reducing anxiety and increasing resilience. By visualizing potential challenges, you mentally strengthen yourself to handle them with composure. This Stoic practice is about embracing the inevitability of hardship and preparing yourself to respond with equanimity rather than fear. Embrace what you cannot control. A central tenet of Stoicism is the distinction between what you can control and what you cannot. The only things you truly control are your thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else, other people's actions, the weather, external events, lies beyond your influence. Trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to frustration and stress. Instead, focus on what is within your power, your reaction to circumstances. By embracing the Stoic mindset, you free yourself from the burden of trying to manage every external detail. This mindset shifts the focus to personal responsibility, where your control lies in how you respond to the world around you. Journaling for self-reflection. The Stoics were avid practitioners of journaling, using it as a tool for self-reflection and mental clarity. Writing down your thoughts and experiences can help you better understand your emotional reactions and thought patterns. In your journal, ask yourself questions like, what did I learn today? How did I react to challenges? What can I do differently tomorrow? Journaling offers an opportunity to process and examine your thoughts objectively. It allows you to detach from the emotional intensity of the moment and reflect on your behaviors, enabling growth and mastery of your mind. The Stoic practice of journaling fosters a deeper connection with yourself and enhances emotional regulation. The dichotomy of control. One of the most profound Stoic strategies for mastering your mind is the dichotomy of control. This simple yet powerful concept helps you focus only on what is within your control and let go of the rest. When faced with any situation, Ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is yes, then take action. If the answer is no, then let it go. By distinguishing between what you can and cannot control, you avoid wasting energy on futile efforts. The dichotomy of control teaches you to invest your time and energy only into those things that you have the power to influence, allowing you to focus on self-mastery instead of external frustrations. Reframing challenges as opportunities. In Stoicism, every challenge is viewed as an opportunity for growth. When faced with adversity, instead of reacting with frustration or despair, the Stoics encourage you to reframe the situation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? By reframing challenges as opportunities for personal growth, you shift your mindset from one of victimhood to empowerment. Each difficulty becomes a chance to practice virtue, whether that's patience, courage, resilience, or wisdom. This Stoic strategy allows you to face life's difficulties with a sense of purpose and composure, knowing that each challenge is a step towards mastering your mind and your emotions. Focus on virtue, not external rewards. A Stoic principle central to mastering the mind is the idea that true fulfillment comes from the cultivation of virtue, not from external rewards or outcomes. Whether it's wealth, success, or approval from others, these external achievements are fleeting and often outside your control. By focusing on developing your inner virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you place your happiness and sense of self-worth in what truly matters. This shift in focus removes the pressure of chasing external validation and instead grounds you in the enduring power of personal integrity. When you focus on virtue, your mind becomes resilient, rooted in values that are unshaken by external circumstances. Practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of Stoic thought. It is the ability to control your impulses, make rational decisions, and take actions aligned with your long-term goals rather than giving in to short-term desires. In today's world, distractions and temptations are everywhere, and the mind can easily be swayed. Stoic discipline involves training your mind to resist these distractions and focus on what truly matters. It means saying no to instant gratification and sticking to your principles, even when it's difficult. Self-discipline is a muscle that, when exercised consistently, grows stronger over time. By practicing self-discipline, you gradually become the master of your mind, able to maintain focus and control in any situation. The importance of reflection and gratitude. Another essential Stoic strategy for mastering your mind is cultivating gratitude. In the face of difficulty, it's easy to focus on what's wrong or what's missing. However, the Stoics encourage us to practice gratitude daily, acknowledging the blessings we have rather than fixating on what we lack. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, promoting a sense of peace and contentment. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on the things you are thankful for. This practice not only cultivates a positive mindset, but also enhances emotional resilience. When you focus on the good, your mind becomes more balanced and less susceptible to negative thoughts. Aligning with nature. The final Stoic strategy to master your mind is aligning with nature. Nature operates in harmony, and the Stoics believe that to live a virtuous life, we must align ourselves with this natural order. This means accepting life as it is, without resistance. It means embracing both the good and the bad, knowing that everything is interconnected. By understanding and accepting the natural flow of life, you stop fighting against reality. Instead, you begin to flow with it, responding to challenges with grace and poise. This alignment with nature helps you cultivate an inner peace that no external event can disturb. This chapter introduces the core Stoic strategies to mastering the mind, each designed to help you regain control and achieve inner calm. By applying these principles, you can learn to overcome the distractions, impulses, and external pressures that threaten your mental well-being, empowering you to lead a more intentional and fulfilling life. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or further elaboration. Chapter 4. Overcoming Emotional Turmoil with Stoic Wisdom. Understanding the nature of emotional turmoil. Emotional turmoil is a natural part of being human. Whether it's anger, frustration, anxiety, or sadness. These emotions often arise in response to the circumstances we face. However, it's important to recognize that these emotions, while natural, are not always in our control. The Stoics taught us that emotions are not inherently bad. They are part of our nature. What matters is how we manage and respond to them. Emotional turmoil often occurs when we allow ourselves to be swept away by our feelings, rather than observing them from a place of calm. The first step to overcoming emotional turmoil is understanding that emotions themselves are not the problem. It is our reactions to them that create disturbance. The Stoic view on emotions. The Stoics did not view emotions as something to be suppressed, but rather as signals that require attention. They believe that emotions arise when we experience a disconnect between our values and the events in our lives. For example, if someone insults you, the emotional response may be anger or resentment. However, from a Stoic perspective, it is not the insult itself that causes anger, but your judgment about it. The key to overcoming emotional turmoil is changing the way we interpret and respond to events. According to Stoic wisdom, we can train ourselves to see situations through a lens of detachment, allowing us to respond with rationality instead of being overwhelmed by emotion. Emotional responses are a choice. One of the most empowering lessons the Stoics offer is that our emotional responses are not automatic. They are a choice. It may not always feel like we have control over our emotions, but we do have control over how we respond to them. When faced with an emotional trigger, pause and recognize that the feeling is not a command. You don't have to act on it immediately. Instead, take a step back and examine it. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this emotion in line with my values? How can I respond with wisdom? The Stoics believed that by cultivating self-awareness, we could choose how to engage with our emotions rather than being driven by them. This awareness creates space for rational thought, which is the foundation of emotional resilience. The importance of reframing. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoic approach to emotional turmoil is reframing. Reframing is the practice of shifting your perspective on a situation to view it in a more constructive way. For example, if you lose a job, your initial emotional reaction might be panic or despair. However, through the Stoic practice of reframing, you can view this loss as an opportunity for growth. Perhaps it's a chance to explore a new career, or maybe it's an invitation to reassess your priorities in life. The Stoics believed that everything, even hardship, can be an opportunity for personal growth if we choose to see it that way. Reframing doesn't mean ignoring negative emotions, but it does mean refusing to be consumed by them. It is a powerful way to regain control over your emotional state. Emotional resilience through acceptance. Acceptance is another key concept in Stoic wisdom. The Stoics taught that not all things are within our control, and learning to accept what we cannot change is crucial for emotional resilience. This doesn't mean passively giving up or resigning ourselves to suffering. Rather, it means recognizing that there are some events, such as the actions of others, the passing of time, or natural disasters, that are outside of our control. In these situations, Stoicism teaches us to accept what is beyond our power and focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, responses, and actions. By practicing acceptance, we reduce the emotional turmoil that comes from resistance. The more we practice acceptance, the more peaceful we become, even in the face of difficult circumstances. The role of virtue in emotional mastery. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is the highest good. Stoics believed that the cultivation of virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance was the key to overcoming emotional turmoil. When we live according to virtue, we are less likely to be swayed by external events. For example, courage enables us to face our fears, while wisdom allows us to make decisions that align with our long-term well-being. Temperance teaches us to control our desires, and justice ensures that we act with fairness and integrity. When we live virtuously, we cultivate an inner strength that helps us navigate emotional challenges. Instead of reacting emotionally, we respond with the values that guide us, bringing calm to chaotic situations. The more we develop our virtues, the less power emotions have over us. The power of journaling for emotional clarity. Journaling is a Stoic practice that can greatly aid in overcoming emotional turmoil. When we are emotionally charged, our thoughts often become scattered, making it difficult to think clearly. Writing down our thoughts helps us process and organize them. It allows us to separate facts from emotions and gain perspective on our situation. By journaling regularly, we can track our emotional responses and identify patterns that may be contributing to our distress. This practice of self-reflection helps us see our emotions as temporary and manageable rather than overwhelming. Journaling also provides an opportunity to practice gratitude and positive reframing, both of which help to shift our mindset from negativity to acceptance. Focusing on the present moment. The Stoics understood that anxiety and emotional turmoil often arise when we dwell on the past or worry about the future. The past is beyond our control, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we truly have is the present. By focusing on the here and now, we can prevent ourselves from being consumed by regrets or fears. Practicing mindfulness and staying present helps us detach from overwhelming emotions. It allows us to respond to life as it is, not as we fear it might be. In the present moment, we have the power to choose our reactions and to maintain peace despite external circumstances, building emotional strength through challenges. Finally, Stoic wisdom teaches us that emotional strength is built through challenges. Life is full of difficulties, and while they may be painful, they also provide opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that adversity was a teacher. Every hardship we face is an opportunity to practice resilience, patience, and wisdom. When we face challenges with the right mindset, we grow stronger emotionally. Instead of avoiding pain or discomfort, Stoics embrace it as part of the human experience. By accepting and confronting challenges head-on, we develop the emotional strength to weather any storm. In this chapter, we've explored how Stoic wisdom can help you overcome emotional turmoil. By understanding the nature of emotions, practicing reframing, accepting what we cannot control, and focusing on virtue, we can master our emotional responses. The Stoic approach provides us with practical tools to navigate life's challenges with emotional resilience and clarity, enabling us to lead more peaceful and purposeful lives. Let me know if you need further elaboration or adjustments. Chapter 5. The Path to Unshakable Control. The Power of Internal Discipline. In Stoic philosophy, true control comes from within. It is not about controlling the world around you, but rather the ability to control your reactions to the world. This internal discipline is the cornerstone of unshakable control. It's about learning to govern your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors regardless of external circumstances. The Stoics understood that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. This control doesn't happen overnight. It's a skill that requires continuous effort, patience, and practice. But once you begin to master it, it becomes an unshakable force that remains steady, even in the most turbulent times. The role of self-awareness. The first step on the path to unshakable control is developing self-awareness. To control your mind, you must first understand it. Most people act on impulse or emotion without ever pausing to reflect on their actions. But Stoicism teaches us that the moment of reflection, the space between stimulus and reaction, is where control resides. By becoming aware of your thoughts and emotions, you can begin to discern whether they are serving you or leading you astray. Self-awareness allows you to notice when your mind is wandering or when you're reacting out of habit, rather than choosing a response grounded in wisdom. This awareness empowers you to take a step back, reevaluate your thoughts, and make more intentional decisions. Mastering the mind through practice. Mastery of the mind is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong practice. The Stoics believed in the power of daily habits and consistent effort. This is where practices like meditation, journaling, and reflection come into play. By dedicating time each day to cultivating a calm, disciplined mind, you build the mental muscles necessary for unshakable control. Meditation helps you quiet the noise in your mind, allowing you to see your thoughts clearly. Journaling gives you an outlet to process your emotions and gain insight into your inner world. Reflection enables you to learn from each day's experiences, reinforcing the importance of personal growth. These practices, when done consistently, create a solid foundation for lasting self-mastery. The Stoic view on external events. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is that external events are beyond our control. We cannot stop traffic, prevent bad weather, or control other people's behavior, but we can control our reactions to these events. Understanding this distinction is crucial on the path to unshakable control. When we stop trying to control everything around us, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and frustration. The Stoics believed that we should focus on what is within our power, our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. By doing so, we cultivate an inner peace that is not dependent on the external world. This mindset shifts our focus from what we cannot control to what we can, allowing us to move through life with a sense of ease and stability. The discipline of desire. One of the greatest obstacles to control is unchecked desire. Whether it's the craving for material possessions, the desire for approval, or the urge to avoid discomfort, unchecked desires can lead us astray. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from the ability to master our desires, rather than be mastered by them. This doesn't mean suppressing our desires entirely, but learning to evaluate them critically. Do we want something because it aligns with our values, or because it provides temporary gratification? The Stoics taught that by examining our desires and choosing those that serve our long-term well-being, we can cultivate a sense of self-control that is invincible. When our desires are aligned with our deeper purpose, they no longer have the power to disrupt our inner peace. The power of choice. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the idea of choice. We always have the power to choose how we respond to any situation, no matter how challenging. This is the essence of unshakable control. When we are faced with adversity, we can choose to view it as an opportunity for growth, rather than a source of frustration. We can choose to react with patience, wisdom, and composure instead of anger or fear. The Stoics taught that our responses are not dictated by external circumstances, but by our inner philosophy. When we embrace this power of choice, we regain control over our lives and our minds. This power allows us to maintain emotional balance, regardless of what's happening around us. The importance of acceptance. Another essential aspect of unshakable control is the practice of acceptance. The Stoics believed that we should accept what is beyond our control and focus our energy on what we can influence. Acceptance does not mean passive resignation. It means acknowledging the reality of a situation without judgment or resistance. It's about recognizing that some things simply are the way they are, and fighting against them only causes more suffering. When we practice acceptance, we stop expending energy on things we cannot change, freeing ourselves to focus on the actions that are within our power. Acceptance enables us to flow with life's challenges, rather than resisting them, and this leads to greater peace and stability. The role of virtue in unshakable control. Virtue is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, and it plays a vital role in developing unshakable control. The Stoics believed that living virtuously, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance was the key to achieving inner peace and strength. When we cultivate these virtues, we build a strong moral foundation that helps us navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Virtue acts as a compass, guiding our actions and decisions. It reminds us of what truly matters and helps us stay aligned with our highest values, even in the face of adversity. A person who lives virtuously is not easily swayed by external events, because their strength comes from within. Virtue empowers us to act with purpose, integrity, and calmness, no matter the circumstances. The power of reflection. Reflection is another powerful tool on the path to unshakable control. The Stoics believed that we should regularly examine our thoughts, actions, and emotions to ensure that we are living in alignment with our values. By reflecting on our experiences, we gain valuable insight into our behavior and can make adjustments where necessary. Reflection helps us recognize when we are veering off course and provides an opportunity to realign ourselves with our true purpose. It's a powerful tool for self-correction and growth, allowing us to refine our habits and mindset over time. The more we practice reflection, the more we strengthen our ability to maintain control in all situations. As we wrap up today's journey through Stoic philosophy, remember that the path to mastering your mind and never losing control is not an easy one, but it is a deeply rewarding one. The Stoics believed that true power lies in our ability to control ourselves, to shape our responses, and to remain unwavering in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Through the teachings of ancient wisdom, we have explored how cultivating self-awareness, practicing virtue, and mastering our emotions can lead us to a life of unshakable control. The power to maintain inner peace, no matter what the world throws our way, lies within each of us. It is a choice, a daily commitment to live with purpose and intention. The Stoics were not concerned with controlling external events, but rather with controlling their own minds. And in doing so, they found freedom and peace. As you step forward, remember that every moment is an opportunity to practice these teachings. Each thought, each emotion, each action, these are all within your power. When you learn to govern them, you unlock the true potential of your mind. You hold the key to your own peace, to your own unshakable control. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic philosophy for more insights into living a life of wisdom, peace, and purpose. Keep practicing, stay resilient, and always remember, the only control you ever truly have is the control you wield over yourself. Until next time.